Hi, I'm Ellen from VE, and we're going to have a little bit of fun today. We're going to take a look at Mako and review the prototype. This is an old t-shirt of mine from the back day, and I thought we'd have just a little bit of fun with some fun earrings and in the color of Mako's ninja outfit. So let's get going on that, all right? Okay, so here he is right here. And you can see, hopefully, let me put him real close. Can you see the color? That the color is like a dark blue. You know, what I found when I was researching ninjas is that they don't wear black. They actually wear a dark blue because that's the color of the night sky. That black actually stands out too much. And so that's why his outfit is in blue. Now, his obi belt and the ties that tie his Ghee down to him so that it doesn't get caught as he's climbing around doing his ninja stuff are in red. So why in red? It looks cool, yes, it looks cool, but do you know why? The reason why it's in red is because if a ninja were to get injured and to bleed, the red disguises that they're injured. No kidding. That's what my research told. So we put red and blue together. And I've got a couple different pieces for his ninja outfit. So here you can see is just, and he's going to have ninja head because this has been on him for a while. So please forgive his hair right now. So you can see, poor guy, it's all squashed. But here's the cut where he's got some bangs and then it's a little bit longer. It goes around his ears. It's basically the same cut as the first production Mako. Okay, so he's got a little bit of bed head, but that's okay because what we're going to do is we're going to put his ninja hood on. So you can kind of see it's just this hood that we pull over his head for when he's doing his nighttime ninja moves. And ninjas are actually really interesting. You know, we think of them as assassins and as evil, but that's not the way it was. Ninja actually started out as when farmers were being attacked by larger communities and they didn't have the masses to go head to head with the armies, and so they started fighting in stealth, and that's where ninjas come from. So they're actually very noble, and they prefer not to go into combat. That's again why they do ninja-like things, so that they can kind of get around espionage, spying on things, you know, trying to influence things. That's the bigger part of ninjas. But if they have to fight, they fight. And now ninja is pretty much like an art, like a martial artist things. We don't see this type of activity anymore, but it's oh so fun. So let's take a look. So we've got ninjas. His hood here, right? But we got to cover up his nose so that he can't be recognized. And that's what this is for, is we just come around and you can either do it once or twice. I think I do it twice, kind of one that goes up and one that goes down. Let's see if I can get this right. And then tie it in the back. Oops. Kind of hard to do it backwards. But anyways, and so that gives us the full ninja look. So you can pull his hood down and then you have his ninja mask across the back. And that's the other thing. Did you know that the obi belts, that's what this is called. Obi actually means belt in Japanese. But the belt in old-time ninja was treated with antiseptics. So they put different herbs and things that would help wounds heal. And they were treated so that if they got injured, they could take their belts and they could wrap it around their injury. And so there's so many things. And what I plan to do with his book, with Mako's book, is to have a ninja guide that will come with, and I'll talk about all the aspects of the history of ninja and some of these little things that I was talking about, as well as show some of the moves that Mako can make from the ninja standpoint. Now, if you look at the outfit here, what I have is see the reverse side of the collar is in red, just so we can get a fine line that comes across for kind of just like a styling detail. So just like when we did Noah's outfit, I like to do things in such a way that it's kind of unique to us. Now the other thing that's fun is he has a ninja sword. And so this is ribbon that is tied the same way that a ninja sword would be. And this is actually wooden. Now the reason why it's wooden is because I don't want to encourage violence. And so if you were to go and do kind of a ninja art in a studio, you would be fighting with wooden swords. And so that's what Mako has, is he has a wooden samurai practice sword. And so as you can see, remember as we talked in Noah, because of his hand, he can actually hold his sword. Okay, because of the way that it fits in here. Now, the other thing about Mako is, as you know, he has his own comic book, and in the comic book we have Ishiboshi. And Ishiboshi is a story from Japan, is basically like the 1-inch man, kind of like a Tom Thumb thing, but from a Japanese perspective. And so we made Ishiboshi, and he has magnets so that he can, see, he's got a practice sword as well on his back, but we can take the practice sword out, and because he has magnets, he can hold his sword. Ta-da! And the other thing that's really fun, I don't have anything metal around, but because these are metal, he can climb on things. I don't know, I've got a light up here. It's not metal. Okay. So what we do around my house is we have an Ishiboshi that's climbing on things. So he's climbing on lamps, he's climbing on the air vents, he's climbing on anything that's metal. And so that's just super, super fun. His body is made out of beans. Okay, so you probably can't hear it, but his whole body is beans, like a bean bag, and then his little head is stuffed. And the reason why I did that is you can throw him. And that's the way I kind of see little boys kind of like, yeah! So I wanted to make him so that he was a really fun toy to kind of bang around, kick around, throw around. And as you know in the comic book, Mako heaves him at the Oni, which is an ogre, in order to try to crack his horn to take away his magic and excuse me, and win the day. And so of course he had to be able to fly through the air. And so that's kind of how he was created. And this is, as you can see, kind of our little label here. So I did have these made for us. So I guess, just in case, those of you who are watching haven't seen the Noah video, I will go ahead and kind of unwrap our Mako so you can see. Now, on this video, Mako looks like white, but he's not. He has a very fair skin, and when you put the lights against it kind of bounces off the lights and it makes him look lighter than he is. But it's actually a very nice light skin color. So it has just a really light hint of kind of like a pinkish tone without being pink. But if you don't put any kind of undertone in, then you get something that doesn't look like skin. So you can see this is kind of just what I took off his wrist. So you can kind of take them on, take them off. As far as shoes go, right now what I have is I have him in a pair of shoes, and then I put some socks over it, blue socks over it, but that's not how he's going to come. I'm going to have shoes made. If any of you have a family member that do wrestling shoes, they're called, like mat shoes. I'm thinking that's the type of shoe that we will put him in. Now, it is a typical Ghee. Now, it's dark blue, so it's kind of hard to see all the detail that's put into it, but it's sewn up just like a typical Ghee. Okay. And I got caught once wrapping my ghee backwards. And so, I try to be as accurate as possible, but there's like, if you wrap it one way, it could mean that, somebody's died. So we'll kind of put all that in the book so we know which way to wrap our ghees without, getting in trouble. Now, you can see here's his pants, his ghee pants. So they're actually elastic, and this is like a faux belt, because what I have found is that when you have, ties for the pants, they don't stay tied, and then they don't stay on the character very well. And so I used elastic and just did the faux for that. So I'm going to go ahead and take off his shoes here so that you kind of get a whole picture of him. Now he doesn't have any undies on, so I don't know what we should do about that, because we'll get blocked. The video won't be any good. They'll take us off. So again, same elbows, knees. This is the same body. All the boys, same body. When you do the doll friends, bodies are different. They're a little bit smaller. They're a little bit larger. Mary's going to have wrists that bend, so there are 3 different bodies for the doll friends, but for the boys, it's all the same body. So everything that we saw with Noah, except of course it's in Mako's skin color. Okay, and a little bit of rouging on his hands and his feet. And I do that because it adds life, instead of just this flat coloring. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me try something. Oh, I know. We'll borrow some underwear that I have off screen here. Hang on, wait a second. Now, it is true, if you have not been with VAE, and this is the first time seeing the product, it is true that our boys have what I like to call a boy bump. A boy bump is a nod to the fact that boys and girls are created differently. It is not descript. You can't. It's not something that is offensive, but they do have a boy bump. So if I pulled his little britches real tight, you can see that he has just a little bitty bump down there. Okay? I don't know if you can see. Okay, and again, why would I do this? I did this because, well, I want boys to see that there is something that's built for them that's like them. And yes, it's true, they would probably, play with or without that. When G.I. Joe first came out, he also had a boy bump. And so it's really just a nod. I want to make sure that this action figure product is appealing to our boys, and that they know that all the energy that we put into making, the female product be female, we have done the same for the boy product to be boy. Okay? Now, that's not making any kind of statement about anything political going on, or anybody's, preferences or values or any of that. It's simply a fact that boys are built one way and girls are built the other. And so that's the way we have approached the boy product. But so here you can see that, again, we have a knee that is molded, so kind of like a kneecap. And then you can bend it, and he will hold his bends, okay, which allows him to do walking poses and different types of things. And same type of feet. You can see they're super cute. But we still have our factory is in China. Now, some people get very, oh my gosh, China, they're bad, they're evil. They're not. Our governments have their issues, their government has their issues, and, I've been working with these people now I've been in business for 12 years, but it's about 10 years that I've actually been making my own product, and I love these people. We trade pictures of our family. They tell me about what's going on in the different, holidays that they have and what it's about. And they check on me to see how I'm doing. They are wonderful, wonderful people. And so I feel blessed that we have such wonderful people. that are involved with their product. And by the way, our product is, we are the most complicated, difficult customer that they have. And it's only because that we have this great relationship that they'll do some of the things that I ask them to do. And like little things, like I told you, we're going to remold this lower leg because the way that he stands right now without remolding that leg is with a forward bend. So you have to bend him slightly at the waist in order to get that balance. I won't have this. I want him fully up and down. But to do that, we have to make the heels lower. Okay? So you can kind of, I have it kind of bent here, but the heel has to stay flat on the ground when he's in the upright position. And so right now we need about a 2/8 inch lowering of our heel to get him to stand the way I want him to stand. So thankfully the factory understands me, and that all these details are extremely important for us to have the quality product that we're trying to create. And since this body is going to be the boy body for every boy that we do, it needs to be perfect. So we are remolding that leg in order to correct it so we can get the product to stand, or the character to stand in the way that we need him to stand. But he's still, the feet, I don't want them to change the sculpting of the feet, because, you know, you've got, you see, again, I got to get it into the camera so you can see it. There we go. You can see his toes, and then look at the split between the toe right here, just like we do with the doll friends, so that he can wear flip-flops if he wants to wear flip-flops, and so on. Now, this is a second production. Okay, so we have made Mako before, but we only made 60 of them. And by the way, I have a few more of that first production left, and I've actually opened it up again and willing to sell a few more of what I call my safety stock. So let me see. I'll go get, hang on, and I'm going to run off camera, and I'm going to go get the first production in Mako so you can kind of see the difference. Okay, hang on. I'm back. Okay, so I don't have him prepared for camera, so this is just kind of how he was. But again, I so love my Makos. He's just so cute. But see, you can see the difference in the body. Okay, so this is the body like the doll friends, where it's elastic instead of ball and joint. And so they're what I call soft bends. It's able to do soft bends, and like we could play together, yeah. We can do stuff like that because he, you know, bends, and you can pull his arms together, and you can do that kind of stuff. But it won't stay. It won't stay. Okay, and so that's the difference, is it won't stay. Okay, and the body is slightly smaller. Now, a prototype is always bigger than what the production is, but just to give you some kind of idea here, you can see there's a little bit of difference. Not a whole lot, really. Not a whole lot, but a little bit of difference between the two. Okay, so that's my story on our Mako. And oh, don't forget, there's also the pattern to make the Oni. That's the ogre, which is just released. And it's not difficult. I mean, when you look at it, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't make stuffed animals, I can't make stuffed toys. But it's no different than sewing an outfit. It takes, I would set aside one full day, because there's more steps when you're making a stuffed toy. You've got to sew the body, and then you have to stuff it. And then with the face, you get to choose how you're going to put those features on. You can cut them out and then just glue them on. So I did one version like that in the pattern. You can hand embroider. You could paint if you wanted to paint, or you can machine embroider. Or you could do a combination of the two. So I did a combination of the two as well. So I found that it was a lot of fun to do, and you can choose the color of, you know, what your Oni's going to look like, and he's got a club, and you can decide if you want his arm, one arm to be up holding the club and one arm down, or do you want both arms up, or do you want, you know, both arms down? And that's the thing about sewing, is that you can kind of do your own thing. I know my grandson, he loved making his own Oni, and he had his own idea of what color he should be, and that's the beautiful thing about sewing. Okay, well, thank you very much, and if you have any questions, remember you can email me directly. I'm Ellen, ELLEN, at via-e.com. Or you can also email, and I'll get it myself, at info, I-N-F-O, at via-e.com. Don't forget the dash or it'll never get to me, okay? So I look forward to continuing these journeys that we have and creating the products that we love and we can be proud of. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.